are powers on Earth too hidden to be seen, and conspiracies too vast to comprehend. For years, the world has seen fact distorted, reality manipulated, and the truth concealed. Join the Pierre Sebac podcast to uncover the real meanings behind ancient aliens and their symbolism.
Hi, this is Pierre Sebac, unlocking the keys to the mysteries. Now today I want to look at the Watchers, and so therefore we're going to look at the juxtaposition between the angel and its depiction as a dragon. And I really want to try and compare these entities today to a type of deity. So in particular we're going to be looking at the Malach Elohim, who are viewed as the eye angels. Now, it's important to assert here that basically the Watchers, which are described in the Testament of Amram, they are described as vipers. And I've spoken about this on numerous videos, but they are described as having a terrifying face, and they're very frightening in their appearance. This description is also shared in the book of Judges, and again I've gone over these details in different videos. Now, the connotation of a fearsome deity really discloses a type of seraphim. Now, this is a non-human angel and is said to originate from the sky. Again, we've mentioned in previous videos that the seraphim is identified with Sirius because of the correlation between Serapha, which is fire, and the etymology of Sira, Sirius, meaning the sparkling one. So we can therefore say that the frightening aspect of an angel is really deemed to be a type of alien. And again, this idea that the seraphim are viewed as crew members of vessels is found in the wordplay between seraph and sapana sailor, or the etymological comparison between malach an angel and malach a sailor. Now, again, the correlation between the seraphim as a type of deity is found or is evidenced within the etymologies of a god or a divinity. So we can see these similar types of wordplays playing out. They are polyglottal. So for example, the Greek word theos, a god, is related to dios, which is fright. Again, we could say in terms of the daemonic entities also, daemon is related to demos, fear. And again with the seraphim, seraph is a wordplay on wrath, which is terror. So we can say therefore that it is firmly established both within the written record and also linguistically, and the proposition that the gods are reptilian or by default that they're alien or frightful in their appearance, this is really an incontrovertible proposition. So again, we can say that although that this is a controversial argument, when we go back into the ancient etymologies, we know that the entities are non-human in their appearance. And again, these similarities are also found within the Aramaic title of the Elohim, the plural meaning the lofty ones. And again, the Elohim are really implicit of the shining ones, which generically denotes a god or a type of seraphim. In this respect, this would be understood to be a type of watcher or a shining one. And again, the watcher or a shining one is a type of sentinel. It's understood to be a type of dragon, this non-human angel. So when we look at the etymologies, for example, of angelic beings or the seraphic host, we find that there is a relationship between the Elohim, the high ones, and Erin, the watchers or the shining ones. And again, the watchers are the Erin, which are known as the Watchers. This is a polymorphic word. It also means a shining one. And the Erin are described in the Testament of Amram as a type of viper. So we know that the Erin, the shining ones or the Watchers, are again a type of seraph, as indicated with the etymology of seraph and sopheth, a watcher. Now, semantically, we can say that the title of the Elohim, honorific of a deity, is really used in the plural form to denote the gods, and it's an elaboration really on the Hebrew polymorphic noun Erin, the watchers or the shining ones. So in this respect, the Elohim is seen to be synonymous with the Erin, the watchers or the shining ones. And again, the etymology of Erin is a modification on the Hebrew noun ayin, which is an eye. Now, this is very important within Judaic symbology. The optical motive of ayin and eye, it's very closely cognate with the Arabic etymology of kayin, an entity. And again, the implication would be of a type of jinn, karin, which is a companion spirit, a type of jinn. In English, we would say a familiar spirit. But again, that there are these word plays between, let's say, Erin, the watchers, ayin and eye, and the old Semitic noun awim, which are the serpents or the destroyers, which would be understood in this respect to be the Elohim. So again, if we wanted to sum this up, we could say that the Elohim are cognate with Erin, the watchers are the shining ones, which are a type of seraphim. The watchers represent themselves with ayin, which is an eye. In this respect, ayin and eye again is closely grouped with kayin, which is a type of entity, Karin, which is a companion spirit, and again all these etymologies feed into the idea of Awim, which are the serpents or the destroyers, and this is circular, so this can be understood to be a type of Elohim or a type of seraphim angel. So we can say therefore that Kayin, an entity, really when we begin to look at the etymologies and look at them in detail, that it really does draw attention to the biblical Elohim, Yahweh, the God of the Hebrews, who was represented with symbolism in terms of light. Again, this would go back to Erin, the watchers, generically a dragon. So we can understand therefore that Yahweh Sabaoth, the Lord of the host, he was distinguished as a type of Elohim, which was really a formal name for a deity. It's a plural noun, so the Elohim is honorific and therefore is referring to the gods, or when it was used in context to singular to refer to a god would be used honorifically. So Yahweh, therefore, we can see in terms of the symbolism and in terms of being embodied with light, is really understood in terms of serpent signifiers, and therefore he is understood as being the Lord of the seraphic host, and he is therefore understood as a type of radiant God. And again, within the book of Moses and in the book of Exodus, we find that Yahweh Sabaoth is rendered as a type of Malach Elohim, a high angel. And therefore we can argue therefore that there is this argument that there is this correlation or relationship between the gods and the watchers, and that the watchers themselves are understood to be a type of dragon or a seraphim, and that generically speaking the seraphim is a type of Elohim. And again, if we wanted to be specific about this, we could say that the Elohim are one and the same as Erin, the watchers, or the shining ones. The Elohim means the high ones. Again, when we have the singular noun of El, God, often sometimes it can be rendered as Almighty. Again, there is this etymological relationship between which means watchful, or is singular of a watcher. And again, the etymology of Erin would play in with ayin and I, and Awin, the serpents, or the destroyers. So in this respect, we can say that the gods are synonymous with the watchers. Therefore, the Elohim are one and the same as Erin, the watchers. The singular noun El is again cognate with a watcher. Once again, when we're looking at the watchers as being one and the same as the seraphim, because we said that the noun Erin is polymorphic of a watcher or a shining one, there is a close comparison with Ayin and I and Awin, the serpents. Again, the etymology of dragon within the Greek is coming from the verb to see or to gleam. So I really want to try and sum up some of these main points now. Certainly we can say that the Erin, the watchers, that they are related to the collective noun of Awin, the serpents, and this is an old Semitic noun, and we can understand that the serpent is really a type of surveyor. They are understood to to be a type of Elohim, and they are understood to originate from heaven. Therefore the Elohim are described as those who are high, the lofty ones. They are expressed also within symbolic language in terms of the shining ones. Now typically the genus of Awim, the serpents or the destroyers, is one and the same with the seraphim, and the seraphim are depicted as a winged serpent. Therefore again they are understood as deriving from or originating from heaven. Now, as we said before, there is this comparison between Seraph, a fire, and Sopheth, a watcher, which again would mean that the seraphim are one and the same with Erin, the watchers or the shining ones. They were described as vipers in the Testament of Amram. And therefore, when we begin to look at all of the analogies and piece all of these analogies together, we can say that the seraphim and that the Erin, the watchers or the shining ones, otherwise the Elohim, that they are consistent with the jinn, and therefore the jinn can be understood to be a type of Awim, a serpent or a destroyer. As we said before in previous videos, jinn is related to Jana, which is to hide or to conceal, and the Old Semitic noun jen, which is a serpent. So we can say therefore that the Awim, the serpents or the destroyers, when viewed in context to the jinn, can really be understood to be a type of Awa, a spirit of the air, and is related to the Arabic root awa, which means air. So in this respect, the jinn, otherwise the Elohim or awa, a spirit of the air, can be understood to be a type of ru'akh Elohim, the high spirits. And I'm telling the audience this, or I'm mentioning this, because the high spirits, which are a type of Elohim, once again are feeding into the traditions of the jinn, and the traditions go back to Jen, which is a serpent, which are identified with the seraphim, and Sopheth, which is a watcher. And as we mentioned before, both the seraphim and the jinn are born from fire, which is an esoteric signifier of Sirius. So we can therefore understand that the high spirits specify the shining ones, otherwise the seraphim, a type of jinn, and these are all designations of the watchers or the Elohim, and these points are really reiterated in the Semitic vocabulary. So I'm just going to try and piece these etymologies together so that you can actually see the sequence and see how they actually interrelate. So therefore, when we look at the Elohim, we can say that the Elohim, the high ones, are related to Erin, the watchers or the shining ones. And again, Erin is cognate with Awim, which are the serpents or the destroyers. As we mentioned before, Awim is closely cognate with Ayin, which is an eye. Therefore, the eye is used to symbolize the seraphim or the dragon. Now, Awim again is closely concordant with the jinn, as found within the etymology of awa, which is a high spirit or a jinn, and this is coming from the root of awa, which is air. So when we piece this together, we can say that the Elohim, which are the high ones, or Erin, which are the watchers or the shining ones, are one and the same with the ru'akh Elohim, the high spirits. Now, as I've mentioned in my videos on holographic culture, the ru'akh Elohim, the high spirits, can be manifested as an elakeh, a high creature. Now, in modern parlance, this would be an extraterrestrial biological entity. Now, the term elakeh is polymorphic, and so a high creature can also be interpreted as a high god. So again, the terminology is one and the same. So, when we summarize this up, we can say that the eye angels are understood to be a type of messenger. And again, the Malach Elohim, the high angels, are closely grouped with the Elohim gods, hence the etymology of Malach Elohim, that the two words are put together as a compound. And when we begin to break this down, we understand that the Malach Elohim is really a type of watcher. As we said before, there is this connection with Erin, which is a watcher or a shining one. But in this context, the Malach Elohim are really understood to be a type of seraphim. As we said before, there is this connection with Sopheth, which is a watcher. So we can see, therefore, that the Elohim, the seraphim, and the high angels are closely grouped together within the ancient languages. That's basically a simplistic breakdown of the watchers or the shining ones. If you've enjoyed this video, then please give me a thumbs up. Please support my channel, and please feel free to leave any comments. In addition, you can also check out my books on pierresabakbooks.com, and please support my work by buying a book. That would be great. This is Pierre Sabak. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you again.